We are going to be looking at how artists have responded to situations that the entire planet has been experiencing since the beginning of the year of 2020. Kobe Bryant tragically died in a helicopter accident on January 26, 2020. The whole world watched and grieved together. Artists responded by painting over 150 murals throughout Los Angeles and Orange County alone. 1 month later, the world was hit with a global pandemic called COVID-19. In the middle of March of 2020, businesses were shut down, workers were sent home, and asked to self-quarantine. And again, artists responded. In 2016, Colin Kaepernick from the San Francisco 49ers wanted to bring attention to police brutality on Black male. He did it by kneeling in protest at the beginning of football games. Colin Kaepernick hasn't had work in the NFL since. On May 25th, 2020, a man named George Floyd lay dying underneath the knee of a police officer in Minneapolis for 8 minutes and 46 seconds until he was pronounced dead. The world watched in horror, and communities responded. 6 days later, on May 21st, many residents of Long Beach, California, came together in solidarity to peacefully protest the death of George Floyd and all of police brutality. People marched to City Hall in the middle of a pandemic, putting on their masks and gloves and carrying their signs. Later that day, as soon as it became dark, looters started breaking into stores, local shops, and businesses, many of which were closed due to the pandemic. They caused fires. They created a lot of havoc and a lot of damage. Pent up since March, the city was angry. The very next day, Long Beach residents responded with the hashtag #LBStrong as we massed together and met in a single location with our masks, with our gloves, to help all the looted stores and to board up storefront windows. The community also came together in the form of art. Here are some boarded up windows on the corner of 3rd and Elm in Long Beach. Artists came out and grouped together with their own supplies to try to make something beautiful out of something so tragic. This is a communal mural where artists asked residents to write down names of people that they know who have been wrongfully killed by the police. We ask that you say their names. Not only were the names written on the sidewalk, but names were also written on the mural itself. This mural was a collaboration between Thunder Voice Eagle and Erica Elon, both local Long Beach artists. This mural here by Bodek will be used again in a later discussion as we break down the symbol of the fist, which has become known as a sign of protest. But did you know that it originally started with a full-figure female raising her fist high up in the air in the sign of protest? Messages of hope were spread all over Long Beach on these boarded-up storefronts. These messages helped us to feel a sense of community, like everybody knew what we were feeling in our heads. And we got to see it in painting and read it in text and feel unified, like we weren't alone. While artists in Long Beach were painting different narrations on the death of George Floyd and so many others who were murdered in the hands of the police, artists in Idlib, Syria, painted a composition with the familiar words, "I can't breathe," and the image of George Floyd. Instead of boarded up shops, these are destroyed buildings. We can take the panels off of the storefronts, open up the shops, have an exhibition someday with all the artwork. But here in Syria, these are destroyed buildings, destroyed by bombs from their civil war. Yet the artists are reaching out across the waters to the United States because art and emotion has no boundaries.